Welcome to the Nagual Zone. I am Anaam, and today we are talking about power. What the Toltecs understand with this word, power, and how it impacts the choices that a warrior makes throughout their life. Now, power is, in the average man's consensus insanity, power is understood very differently than in the Toltec's separate reality, which is, kind of obvious. So how does the average man understand power? The average man understands power exactly like the average man's slave masters teach them to understand power, which is power over things, over surroundings, power over others, power over everything. And so you can't really call it power. You can call it domination. We can call it domination. We can safely say that the average man's consensus insanity understands virtually nothing of the kind of power that the Toltecs pursue. Because the whole Truman Show of the average man is based on domination. Dominating this, dominating that. The more you can dominate, the more powerful you are perceived to be, because you can dominate and conquer everything, right? So it's like a video game, juvenile idea of power, just juvenile sort of, reading too many comics and comics are bygone now, and Netflix, and just very juvenile, childish, oh, dominate this, and oh, I'm the big boss. Like a toddler claiming this is mine. Yes, absolutely right. The average man's consensus insanity has never been allowed to rise above that juvenile type of understanding of themselves and the world around them. The world around them is carefully constructed, exactly like the Truman Show, a little bubble in which a bubble maze, I call it a bubble maze, in which you just get lost for lifetimes and lifetimes. You never find your way out because it's so it's so distracting. Every little bit is designed to be distracting. It takes a lot of focus to really understand what like in Conan the Barbarian, the chieftain asks Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's Conan. It's a famous iconic line, Conan, what is good in life, or something along those lines. And Conan goes, the lamentations of the women, and to smash and crush your enemies. And it's a brilliant line. You should go and watch it. It's hilarious. And that is what the average man understands as power, because that's what the parasite predator understands as power. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a parasite predator. You see what I mean? The Toltecs, on the other hand, understand power differently. What is power to the Toltecs? One might want to write this one down. Power is the ability to direct, to control energy. It's the ability to control and direct energy. Power is the ability to control and direct, whichever way you want it to go, energy. That's power. That's power. The Toltecs clearly are able to see that everything has as at its root reality energy. Their surroundings, themselves, everything, all of existence is a sea of awareness. And what is the currency awareness uses to operate? Energy. That's the currency. Take away energy from a system and its awareness goes. In boxing terms, they're called knockouts. And you get knocked out. I've been knocked out on the street in my life. I've been, I used to fight on the streets. I've been knocked out completely. It was a completely self-important, nonsensical, stupid thing on my part to pick fights with, silly things that I needed to learn. Ended up in hospital over that. And that's what KO is. You take away energy from a system, it crashes. The awareness completely goes. And then the system reboots, and suddenly awareness comes. The first questions that boxers that are KO'd ask is, they don't understand that they've been KO'd. They ask, what happened? What happened? What happened? They just can't clock that they've been, right? And then obviously they're experienced, so then they understand, oh yeah, I got KO'd. But if a normal noob, just normal person just got KO'd on the street, they wouldn't have a clue, because when they came back into awareness, they wouldn't have a clue. They would ask, what happened? So power is the ability to control and direct energy. Ever-increasing power is the increasing ability to control and direct magnified levels of energy. A little power is a little ability to direct and control a little bit of energy. A lot of power is the ability, increased ability, you've leveled up, to direct and control magnified amounts of energy. Right? So for Toltec warriors, we are always concerned with ever-increasing ability to direct and herd and control ever-increasing levels of energy, magnified amounts of energy. And this is the cornerstone of which we base our days on. As long as we are alive, we are in the pursuit of power. You see, this pursuit of power is very different than the pursuit of power that the average man's consensus insanity. The average man spends their days and nights hoping and wishing for power. I will show them all one day. Who do they think they are? I used to think like that. I will show them all one day. I'll be a famous singer. And the women will be falling at my feet, and people will ask for my autograph, and then these people who laugh at me now will be silenced, and I'll be the one laughing. I used to think of all this stuff. Everyone, the average man, it's all copy-paste mentality. The powerless, the poor, the victimized, they all think like that. And you may not feel like you're powerless, poor, and victimized, but you are. Why power? Why? Why power? Before we tackle that question, let's clarify one more thing. You see, power then turns out, according to the Toltec's understanding of power, it doesn't turn out to be a separate thing that you spend your life chasing like a little hamster on a wheel. Oh, power, power, I want power. I am the power, He-Man. Just ridiculous nonsense. So power is simply an ability in the Toltec's understanding. It's the ability to harness, control, direct increasing amounts of energy. The more energy you can direct, control, and consciously direct, the more powerful you can be called. You can be, you can be said to be more powerful. So it's just, and everyone's born with that ability. We are all born with that ability. However, we're not born with the skill set to make that ability evolve and work over time. That takes conscious directed will, and you've got to learn to hunt power. Hunt power. Now, do Toltecs spend all their life hunting power outside of themselves? It has been the case. Even up till Castaneda's time, it was the case. They're so foolish. That didn't even occur to them that hunting power outside of you it's pointless, completely pointless. But there's still groups now I know of. There's a group on Reddit, I believe, and they're really into hunting power outside of themselves. Oh, telekinesis, and oh, the allies. Yeah, I've got 5 allies. How many you got? I got 7 allies. I got more allies than you. How many he's got? Oh, the boss has got 10 allies. Yes, he's the big boss. And just, oh, and this one can do this, and this one can do that, and all these pastime fairy tales. Fine, so you can read minds. You're a big telepath. And impressive? Sorry, no. Impressive to the average man? Very much. They're like, oh my God, give me your autograph. It's really not impressive. Yeah, you can levitate. Yeah, okay, good. Good for you. The only problem is your ability to levitate hasn't taught you how to unfuck yourself. Has it now? So who's the more powerful here? Someone who is humble enough to look within, direct their resources within to gain control and harness increasing levels of energy within themselves and thus become powerful, or fools like you who are busy running around, first of all, convinced that power lies outside of you. Don't you think that's a powerless paradigm? If you are convinced that power is something to be chased out there, isn't that a powerless paradigm? You tell me. Allies became the Toltec Pokemon. Absolutely right. Absolutely bang on. That's a quotable quote, that. And you'll meet plenty of these fools on the internet. And there's one website I unfortunately happened to come across. I never look any Toltec business anywhere else. I just keep to my business and do these lives and connect with you guys. And I have no interest in meeting up with Toltec warriors and all this nonsense subculture, because it's all nonsense, complete nonsense. Just my dick is bigger than your dick. That's all it is. And there was this website where this shamanka they were all either from Peru or Siberia. There's no one else anywhere else. Peru or Siberia. So this one was from Siberia. And this Siberian shamanka, she had developed her own style of, what was it? The style of the clap on the Nagual's clap. Which if she claps you on the back, then it will send you into other dimensions, and you will enter the second attention with the clap. And it's like, oh man, what the? Bring this woman to me. In 10 minutes she will know what's what. 10 minutes. But you know what? These people will never encounter the truly powerful. And again, reminding you, what is power? Simply an ability to control yourself. What are you? You are infinite and a reservoir of incredible, purified energy. If you could only realize that. If you could only realize that. And really, like, by realize, I mean real eyes. Like, really be able to, not just as a concept that you saw in a video or, but really see yourself as such after a lifetime of pursuit of that power. There will be no doubt in your mind that pursuing out power outside of you is assuming first and foremost that you do not have any power. So you see, all these allies and all this nonsense, It's for the powerless. People who are not secure within themselves, who do not understand that they are power. They are, they are energy. And I'll give you tangible examples of this in a minute. These people remind me of fish looking for water. Where can I go in this ocean to find water? Maybe if I swim fast and hard enough in that direction. That fish told me that if you go in that direction, you will find water. Yeah, that fish was a fool, and you're more fool for listening to that fish. How about looking around you? Stop. Stop running to stand still. Just stop. Look around you, look within, and verify for yourself. Are you not surrounded by water, oh mighty fish? You take water in and then water comes out of your gills, right? You are. So this is the definition, the true definition of power. Power is the ability. Now let's take, for example, example of an energy that, let's take an example. So you feel frustrated with, you have a frustration in your life. Okay? You have a frustration in your life. That frustration is basically energy, emotional energy moving in your system. It's moving. There's movement of energy in your system, and you experience that as the label frustration. What is power? Power is the ability, what? To control and direct for advantageous gains, hopefully. If it's a Toltec warrior, it goes without saying. Control and direct that energy. So if you can control and direct your frustration in a way that is advantageous to you, adds to you, then you can be said to be powerful at that level. Imagine that someone else is not just frustrated, but they're angry. That is energy magnified from frustration to anger. It's magnified. And if that person can develop the ability to control and direct that anger in gainful ways, advantageous ways, they can be said to be powerful at that level. You see how easy and clear it is? It's the Nagual's energy that makes it easy and clear. It was not easy and clear before you started watching this live. You don't need bespoke claps on the back and all this nonsense. It's simply a clear energy will create clarity. Now imagine that emotion, that anger. There's a third person who's feeling rage. Rage is when things get destructive. Rage is when it's intense, right? If that person learns and to have the ability to control and direct that rage, that even more magnified energy, to their gainful end, they can be said to be powerful at that level. Bruce Lee said once to one of his students, he said, the secret of my incredible power, why I can hit so hard, is because I can control my rage. I can summon it at will. And it's my rage that hits. So it's one of the unsaid secrets of Bruce Lee's power, according to his own admission. I myself, once I came across that concept that you can control rage. In fact, I applied it on a punching bag one day when I used to train very heavily in MMA and other forms of self-defense mainly. I applied to the punching bag, and from that day on, I don't care how heavy the punching bag is. I really don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I'll make it move and it'll bounce as if it weighs nothing. Right? There's a way to channel energy. There's a way to channel energy, putting your entire body, mind, and spirit into each strike, that you don't move, but the thing that you're directing at moves. So imagine that. So that's just a mundane example of power. It's just the ability to direct energy. Now, someone just asked, can you give an example of how to direct? I'll do better than that. In true Toltec fashion, I'll give you something to work towards. All my apprentices, at some point or the other, get the directive to learn Tai Chi. And they are expected to become proficient in Tai Chi after taking 3 or 4 years of really applying themselves to it. What is Tai Chi? Tai Chi is growing your ability to harness and direct inner power. Chi energy, it's all energy. You see what I mean? Now, emotional energy is some of the most powerful energy you can summon. It is at your beck and call, but the average man is almost entirely cut off from their true feelings. Whenever you ask someone, you can try this. Hey, what did you think of if you ask someone, how did you feel after watching the football match? They'll go, yeah, I thought that player if that player had done that, then that player would have done that, and then they would have won, and then... But notice, what did you actually ask? How did you feel after watching that football match? And what would be the answer? Yeah, you know what, if at that point, half an hour in, they should have really just called a meeting and the manager was getting in, blah, 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 blah. Completely cut off. They didn't even hear what you were saying. The average man, the predator, kills feeling at a very young age. It's called education, and replaces it with just bullshit. Bullshit. It's called rationalization. Reason. The age of reason. The much exalted age of reason. It's complete bullshit. Nonsense. Complete nonsense. The much thought of age of reason. Where did it come from? Greco-Roman. Greco-Roman. So remember this, power isn't a thing, like a thing that you go and get out in the desert after, and having encounters with the powers of the night or whatever else shit is stuffed in the head. Power is your ability to control and direct your energy. Your energy. If you can control and direct your energy to gainful ends, you will become more powerful than anyone who is looking for power outside of themselves. On that note, I hope that clears the idea of power for you. It's very important you understand what you're about. If you're gonna be doing Toltec type things and watching Toltec videos, you have to understand, what are we dealing with? What do I mean when I say power? And what does the average man hear when I say power? You see what I mean? This video is very important, and don't forget this definition. It'll keep you on the straight and narrow. The Toltec's paradigms automatically kill self-importance. And the rest of it that's left, we learn to hunt consciously. This paradigm will kill one of the major sources of self-importance, which is hunting for power outside of yourself. I'm working for my promotion. My boss will give me promotion. Next month I will get promotion. Why are you hunting for power outside of yourself? What's that promotion going to give you? Well, a bit more money? You're a slave already. You just become a better slave, that's all. With more duties and more expectations of you as a slave. That's all it is. So the average man's definitions of power are meaningless and worthless to the Toltec. This is the kind of power we are after as Toltecs, and it serves us. Whichever world we find ourselves in, we are never bereft, we are never disempowered. We start going about our business straight away. It doesn't matter what world you thrust me in. I will start not only surviving, I'll start thriving very quickly because I know how to do it. I won't be wasting my time with nonsense. I'll go about my business quietly and easily and just grease in the wheels, man, grease in the wheels. Power is an ability. That's all it is. It's an ability to control ever increasing levels of energy. The more you can control, the more energy will be, you go to the next level of controlling that power level of energy. And yes, it takes longer and longer and longer. Each level takes longer and longer. That's why, there's no quick fixes. There's no quick fixes. So Bernardo Chatillon is saying emotions can be directed like a punch. Can you clarify that? I don't know what that means, and I don't know what the point of that would be in real life. Emotions can what? You want to point at someone and then electricity comes out, out of your finger and zaps them and they go, ah. Or you point at some woman and she orgasms and falls in love with you. What do you mean? I'm messing with you. Just clarify that for me. Peter is saying, I thought Ki is breath and Tai Chi is a predominantly grappling art, but slow moving increases awareness for sure. That exactly is what I'm talking about. I can guarantee that Peter here has never done Tai Chi. All right. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, I'll take one or two questions and we'll wrap it up. I'm gonna just go through the comments here a little bit. Because you said direct rage. Yeah, okay. How would you, let's just take frustration, or let's take anger, which is the middle one, right? You tell me, how would you use your anger to your advantage? How would you control and direct it in your life in a way that is advantageous to you? Figure it out. You know the answers. You know the answer to this. It's a matter of looking within, and if it takes a few days to figure it out, a few months to figure it out, fine, stay with it. It'll be your answer. It won't be my answer. My answer is worthless to you guys. That's why I always say these videos are kind of useless, to be honest. It makes the watcher, the viewer of these videos feel knowledgeable, but you gained nothing. You really gained nothing. It's like Peter saying, oh, Tai Chi is this and Tai Chi is that. It ain't done Tai Chi for 1 second or his whole life, but it gives us the illusion that now we understand something. Oh, Anaam's talked about power, so now I understand power. You really don't understand anything, but it gives the illusion. What you have to do now is do the work. Yeah, Peter. Is do the work. Take this, and then, as I always say, take the next 3 years to apply. Go and start doing Tai Chi. Go do Tai Chi classes and verify for yourself. Why would the Nagual say, well, not the Nagual for you guys, why would Anaam say, go and do Tai Chi, that will help you to understand power better? Why would he say that? The only way you can do that is to go and spend 3-4 years now learning Tai Chi and verifying for yourself. You see how it works? That's why the Toltec path isn't for everyone. You are expected to get your ass out there and work for your answers, work for your knowledge, because that knowledge needs to come from within you, not from Anaam's videos or some books by Lujan, Gujan, Bujan. No, you do the work. You see how this? So it's very important. It's very important to understand that. All right. Oriel saying, is fear energy? Is fear energy that can be directed or energy stealing? It depends on you. It depends on you. Very good question. I like that question. Um, you have a lot of the initial apprenticeship for Toltecs is facing fears. You know, crashing into your fears again and again, so that you become familiar with fear staring you in the face at all times. Most of the average man's life is spent suppressing. I don't want to see this fear. I don't want to face it. Just keep it down. Chuck burgers in your mouth and become like a fat retard watching TV all day, right? Or shoot heroin into your system, you know, all sorts of nonsense, simply not to face the fear. But if you, for Toltecs, eventually after enough exposures to their demons, you start getting a bit bored really. Oh, freaking it's the same thing. And you lose, and fear loses its fearfulness. That's when you can learn to direct it. Before that, it's your master. Absolutely, you're a proper slave to it. It's your master. It'll slap you about. You're its bitch. But once, this is where familiarity breeds contempt works beautifully for the Toltec apprentice. In when you know, with fear, you got to crash into your fear again and again and do everything to get there, to go there again and again and again. And eventually you'll just be like, yeah, fear, schmear, what? Yeah, been there, done that. I've been crashing into this damn thing for ages. It's nonsensical. That's when you're ready to learn to direct it. And you then it's not really fear, is it? It's kind of a it may be fear, but it doesn't enslave you. You see that stage? That's when you're ready to be taught how to direct fear to your own ends. All right. Beyond that, you know, only an apprenticeship will help. Any particular form of Tai Chi most useful? Well, I recommend Paul Lam, P-A-U-L-L-A-M, Paul Lam. He has many videos on YouTube. I learned not from him directly, but I learned via, you know, from his lineage, and that's the one I recommend. That's the one I have done in my life. So, Paul Lam. Okay, recognizing ourselves as energy, could we not take others as energy and therefore the control and directing of other people to your advantage, an act of power rather than domination? Well, that just sounds like switching semantics to me. Anyone who is trying to control others, you can give many fancy bullshit reasons. You know, you gotta ask yourself, why do you want to do that? Why? What's the point of that? What will you gain? So ask yourself that, and if you're brutally honest, you will find a lot of insecurity there. You will find a little dick where you thought you were the big dick in town. I'm not advocating. Yeah, I understand that, but you know, it's plenty of people think like that, and thank you for asking that, because that's proper average man's thinking and needs to be exposed. Herbert saying, I feel power in this moment of my life like a Jenga game. Yes, 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 yes. And like an energy casino maniac. Absolutely. That's very honest. That's excellent. That is an excellent comment. Here, the best thing you can do is to study The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. the book, take 2 years, 3 years, and work with it every day. Use it as a workbook and apply the power of now. Become a master at applying the power of now in your life, which basically means grow your capacity for inner silence and being present and connected to yourself and connected to your surroundings. That's when power will power will be attracted to you like a moth to a flame. You won't have to be going out hunting it everywhere. You will feel it from within you. You will feel it. You will. It's what I was saying before. You will see yourself as this energy powerhouse, this incredible nuclear generator. Yeah, you will witness the reality of it. All right. On that note, thank you for joining me. I shall see you next week. I'm not sure. I'll let you know if next week's on or not, actually, because I need to start moving towards that Zoom masterclasses that I was talking about. Anyway, I'll let you know in the community tab on the YouTube channel. So watch out for whether next live is happening or not on the community tab, where we'll, that's what it is there for. Otherwise, walk in freedom, and I shall see you very soon. Bye for now.